Is the world going extinct? Because Elon Musk said that Singapore could become extinct due to the fact that they have low fertility rates. And they're not the only country. There's actually quite a few more, including the United States. And it's only right that I show you a short video so that you can get a little bit more insight.
In every corner of the world, the signs are becoming harder to ignore. Once bustling towns grow eerily quiet. Schools shut their gates for good. Entire villages vanish. Humanity, for centuries, has thrived on the foundation of growth and reproduction. But now, the numbers tell a chilling story. Birth rates are plummeting. Populations are aging. And the survival of nations hangs in the balance. A stark warning came from Elon Musk. He tweeted, "Singapore and other countries are going extinct." The reason? Falling fertility rates. Singapore's fertility rate has been declining for some time now. But in 2023, it fell to a historic low of 0.97. This refers to the number of children a woman is expected to have in her lifetime, and it has left the city-state alarmed. So Singapore did what all governments do. It tried to throw money at the problem. But even that did not help. Singapore's baby crisis is because of a couple of reasons. The cost of living crisis. The expenses of raising a baby and the difficulties managing work and family commitment. Just offering parental leaves or cash incentives doesn't make them go away, and it's the same situation in many countries across the globe. Like South Korea. Earlier this week, it made headlines on how it could be the first country to disappear by 2100. The reason again was a population crisis. South Korea already has the lowest birth rate in the world. In 2023, it fell by another 8% to 0.72. If the trend continues, in 50 years, nearly half the population will be older than 65. Japan, too, has a similar trajectory. It was once the world's 11th most populated country. But its population is expected to have before the end of the century. Japan now sells more adult diapers than baby diapers. Then, there is China. Until recently, it was the world's most populous nation, accounting for a sixth of the global population. But Beijing too is dealing with falling birth rates, and this isn't just a developed country problem. In 2023, Brazil showed the slowest population growth on record. So this is truly a global problem. In 1950, the average woman had 5 children. Today, that number is just over 2, and in many developed nations, it's far below that. For a population to hold steady, the number should be 2.1. So, what's driving this global phenomenon? The reasons are complex and intertwined. Rising urbanization, the high cost of living, and shifting cultural norms all play a role. Many young people are delaying or foregoing parenthood altogether. That is due to financial instability and career priorities. Women's empowerment too plays a role. Access to education allows more women to choose if and when to have children, and this is an economic catastrophe. Fewer people mean fewer workers, fewer consumers, fewer taxpayers. National economies are built on demographic momentum, and that momentum is grinding to a halt. The cost of an aging population will be astronomical. Healthcare systems will buckle, pension funds will collapse, economic growth will stagnate. Governments are throwing money at the problem. Tax breaks, incentives, more leaves. But money cannot create babies. Governments need to understand, it isn't just about creating children. It's about creating a world where people feel they can. Or else, civilization as we know it could run out of people.
You see, from that video, it makes it seem as though the whole world is having low fertility rates. But I did a little bit more research, and they forgot the people that look like me, because if you go to Africa, the top 10 countries with higher than average fertility rates are all countries in Africa. So while the rest of the world is having fertility issues, Africa is thriving and surviving. So even though they make it seem as though Africa is one of the poorest continents in the world, not only is it rich in resources, it's also rich in human capital. Because with the current fertility rate, the population will continue to grow as the population of the rest of the world is continuing to decrease. And even though they've gone through generations of being in survival mode, they're proactively building a destination that's going to allow them to thrive, not just survive. And I think this is a very interesting topic because I can see it in my life because I don't have kids myself. And the reason why I don't have kids is because I believe you got to be picky before it gets sticky, because that's the most important decision a man can make. Where you choose to sow your seed is going to have a huge impact on whether or not you succeed. And with today's economy, you have to make sure that you have your ducks in a row before you decide to bring another child into this world. I went to college, and a lot of my peers don't have kids either. But it's funny because it's more so the individuals that I met in college that are making a smarter decision and choosing to put themselves in position to have kids than the ones that I met in high school. So the individuals that I knew from high school that didn't go off to college, a lot of them have kids. But there's different strokes for different folks. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when they were talking about fertility rates in that video, I was thinking that men and women are not as fertile as they used to be, but that's not really the case. It's actually just the current state of the economy that has caused people to make the decision not to have kids so soon. But what do you think? Are we going to see certain countries become extinct, or are we going to experience another baby boom during our lifetimes? But it's about that time. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so that you're notified every time I make a new post. Until next time.